konnichiwa, Nihon e yokoso. I am speaking Japanese, which means it is time to race at Suzuka for our Formula 2 World Tour season on the F1 2020 game. Round 6 of the championship of the 10 circuits, not traditionally on the Formula 2 calendar. So here we go then into qualifying, and immediately missing the first apex of the lap, but hopefully we can get our act together as we head into the S's for the first time. Very tricky section of track in the F1 cars. F2 cars not quite as bad, everything is slowed down, so you have a little bit more time to react and adjust your lines, and we get through there okay, a good line through there, but missed the apex there of Dunlop, and that's costing us a little bit of time, so we can definitely improve on this lap. But you really only get one chance in Formula 2, only one set of the tyres, the softer compound of tyres to use, so yeah, there's really not a lot of room for error, so that's unfortunate that we made those mistakes, but oh well, we push on and head through the hairpin, getting through there fairly nicely. Slowed down a little bit too much, to be honest, through there, but we move on then to the end of the lap, out of the final corner, and across the line we go P7 as things stand.
Qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Hubert, King and Guanyu ZHOU. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So down in 7th position, we are out-qualified by one of our main rivals, Nobuharu Matsushita, his own race, but let's see what we can do in the race to make up for that.
Preparations on the grid are wrapping up as we brace ourselves for the start of today's big race.
Originally built as a circuit for testing cars, Suzuka was later added as a racing circuit for multiple types of motorsport throughout the world, blending many different corner types, high-speed straights, the incredible 130R, and a very unique crossover, giving it the famous figure-of-8 appearance. You can see why this is one of the most famous racing circuits of all time. Let's look at the grid order for today's race while the cars make their final preparations. What a qualifying from Antoine Hubert. He'll start from pole position, with Jordan King alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Zhou, Matsushita, Calamilot, and De Vries, Correa, Aitken, Giotto, Louis DELETRAZ, ALESI, Mazepin, Sean GELAEL, and SETTE CAMARA, LATIFI, Schumacher, BOCCOLACCI, and Tatiana CALDERON. BOSCHUNG, Mahavir Raghunathan starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are on the grid then for the feature race here in Japan, and the soft tyres to the mediums will be the strategy. Not a lot of variance in Formula 2 to go with there, so we're going to go now to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the feature race here in Japan. It's a decent start for us, as we're going to try and gain some positions as we head down towards the first corner to the outside of our teammate Calamilot, and we will just about squeeze through there. We've actually gained a couple of spots. We're up into 4th position from 7th, so that's 3 positions just to the first corner alone, so that is a great start for us. As we make a mistake though through the left-hander, we're now fighting side by side with our championship rival Matsushita through the S section, and he's going to have the outside line for the Gyakuban curb, but we will just about hold it through on the inside. The outside's tough to hold on into that corner. Gyakuban literally translates to off camber, so that is why that is difficult to do around the outside there, and we're able to hold on to that position. But a clean start for us, and a whole bunch of positions gained as Matsushita now battling away with the cars behind. So as we continue on, we're going to continue to try and march forwards through this race as we head through the Degnas once again, and now sitting right behind the rear wing of Guanyu ZHOU. Let's see if we can make a move on the Chinese driver down into the hairpin to the left-hand side, and we will just about get there as we get up on the inside curb, though that upsets the car a little bit and we can't quite get the power down as nicely as we would have liked to, and we just couldn't carry the mid-corner speed there, just slowed down sort of too much there, and ZHOU was able to hold on. But as we head down towards 130R, as we have to make a bit of a lift there, taking an awkward line, but we're going to go down the inside into the Casio triangle, and we'll make that move on Guanyu ZHOU nice and easy, and move ourselves up onto the podium as things stand at the moment. Next up is Antoine Hubert, and then the race leader Jordan King as Joe. He's actually having a look back down the inside as we head towards the first corner. This battle is not done with yet. We have to leave him some room as we run wide off circuit just about there, but we will maintain the position, just trying to give him as much space as possible in case he had a moment of understeer, but thankfully he kept his car under control and we were able to race on, and now we can try and focus on catching up to the top two. The Frenchman, Antoine Hubert, is up next. He's still putting pressure on Jordan King, who has made a good start here and holds the lead at the moment. So as we continue on though into the Casio Triangle, once again it is time for our first pit stop. So in we go then to the pit lane, and this will be hopefully our one and only stop for this race, our only scheduled stop for this one, a bit earlier than everyone else around us, but that should hopefully give us an advantage, a few cars from behind coming into the pits, but we may be able to get an undercut on Hubert and King, as we almost were boxed in by one of the Tridents, but thankfully we've got out just ahead of them. But anyway, continuing on then, out of the pit lane comes Antoine Hubert, and we're going to slide up the inside. That was a nice little opportunistic move there. I knew he was going to be slow on the cold tyres, and that is really what the cold tyres do to you in Formula 2. There's just no way you can defend from someone coming on hot sticky tyres, and yeah, that was easy position for us. But no, we weren't close enough to Jordan King to make that move, but that may come later on as we go deep into the first corner. Once again running really wide here, and that's allowed Hubert back through, and that was an unfortunate mistake there for us. But anyway, we will continue to fight on, but in the meantime Giuliano ALESI retires from the race with a mechanical failure, and he will not finish this one. But as we continue on, we've got a side-by-side battle right behind us. Nikita and Joe going side-by-side to the first corner, and we can't quite see what's going on with them from our angle. We need to give them a bit of space, because Nikita was thinking about sticking the nose up the inside. Nikita did get the better of Guanyu ZHOU in that battle, and he's moving himself up and into fourth position, and might be looking at the rear wing of our car, and looking to make a move on us very, very soon, because we are losing a bit of pace at this point in the race, as there is another mechanical failure for the Campos car of Dorian BOCCOLACCI, the Frenchman, not having a good run of things here. The two Frenchmen in the field, two of the Frenchmen in the field having a DNF. That brings out the safety car, and we have to all queue up once again. But on the restart, we're actually very opportunistic. We're going to try and make a move on Antoine Hubert. He's got a lot of good straight line speed there, as he was in the slipstream trying to cover us off. We try to go to the outside, but we get a bit of grass on tyres, and that doesn't really help us out at all, and we just have to slot back in behind Antoine Hubert for the time being. But we're trying to make a move there, but as you can see, as we continue on, we just don't have the pace for that. Nikita's down the inside into 130R, and we tried to take a wide line, but went a little bit too wide on off circuit. Nikita ended up getting a very easy overtake in there, and that puts him up onto the podium at his home races. We have a huge loser at the back end, about 5 times through the last corner there, and we actually made a bit of contact with Guanyu ZHOU in the process as we were trying to catch the car. There's the slide, and there's the contact with Guanyu ZHOU, and yeah, that was really unfortunate. I just put too much power down, caught the grass there, which didn't help, and yeah, just had to catch the car. I wasn't worried about what the cars around us were doing, and yeah, unfortunately that was the end result for Guanyu ZHOU. But I went wide here as Joe was trying to get up the inside, but he's actually got damage, so he's going to be quite slow, and he wasn't able to make that move, so there's no point trying to give the spot back to him or anything like that. I was sort of considering it, but yeah, he's got damage, and that's just going to cause more chaos if we did that. So the safer option is just to push on, and here comes Guanyu ZHOU into the pits to change that front wing. But look at the train Guanyu ZHOU was just holding up. That is absolutely insane. How many cars are in a small space here, and they're all fighting for position down towards the first corner, and thankfully they managed to resolve themselves without creating any more carnage. But anyway, as we continue on then through this race, we will actually set the fastest lap of the race now on this lap, so we do have some pace if we can string a lap together, but that doesn't happen all too often. So we move on then to the end of the race, and here is your race winner. Jordan King wins in Japan. A great drive from him to win by a considerable margin, considering there was a safety car not too long ago. As we come around the final corner, it's going to be a decent position for us in fourth.
The race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So I'm not too disappointed with that, honestly. But yeah, the pace just wasn't quite there. We were close, but we just needed it a little bit extra.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The safety car had a huge impact on the race today, that's for sure. A lot of racers begin panicking when it's brought into a race, as it means important decisions need to be made in a very short space of time. Should you pit? Well, that depends. What track is it? How are the tires holding up? What is my current position? A race can be won or lost after the introduction of a safety car. Make it quick thinking, key to the victory here today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the MP Motorsport team, and I'm very happy to see them up there on the top step of the podium.
So it is Jordan King who takes the race win here in Japan. Nobuharu Matsushita ends up finishing in second position at his home race. He's pretty happy about that one, with Antoine Hubert in third.
And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race for our championship leader. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
It's a difficult call, but I take Juan Manuel Correa. He was just better than everyone else in treating the tires. He conserved it till the end. He made the difference.
And now a look at the team standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. There was also a strong showing from the MP Motorsport team today as they make their way up the standings.
The official driver of the day also did a fantastic job. But I have to vote with my heart, and today I have to go in a different direction.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we have it. We also get the points for the fastest lap as well for that one. So, yeah, not a bad race at all. 7th up to 4th, fastest lap. Yeah, not a bad effort, I think. But, yeah, we just didn't quite have the pace to chase down Jordan King and Antoine Hubert. They were just a tiny bit too fast, but it wasn't by a lot. So in the sprint race, when we're starting ahead of them, look out, because we could be on to a winner. But we'll worry about that when it comes. But for now, in review of this one, yeah, I think overall, I think we more or less maximized what we could have done in this one. Yeah, that little bit of pace just wasn't quite there. The tyres were wearing faster than everyone else's, I'm quite sure about that. And then obviously our tyres were slightly older than the people who were fighting by a lap or two, but that doesn't make a huge difference at the end of the day, not the difference they were missing. So, yeah, it's really, that undercut definitely helped us. Then we really lost that benefit with the mistake that let Hubert back through, but yeah. I'm not really sure what to make of this one, honestly. Wow, that was close. But yeah, we just the consistency was the problem, I think. In raw speed we were more or less fine. It was just too many little mistakes, especially at that first corner and the last corner as well. Just laying down the power there is kind of difficult on occasion. So yeah, we need to work on that, and in the sprint race, obviously by then I'll be more comfortable with the car after doing this whole race. So hopefully that means we can improve and do a better job there. So let's get into the sprint race and see what happens in that one.
Hello and welcome, where it's all eyes on the grid and the final preparations ahead of today's championship race.
I'm Alex Jakes, and alongside me in the dry confines of the commentary box, former 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. Tyre choice is important no matter what the conditions are, Davide, but do you see it having more significance today?
Oh, you know it will, Alex. Remember that in Formula 2 there are not intermediate tires, so deciding when to switch to the wet compound can have a massive impact on the race and your strategy. Nothing tests driver skill like the wet. I'm looking forward to see what they can do.
So here we are on the grid then for a soggy sprint race here, and the wet tyres for the duration of the race. No intermediates in Formula 2, so that is the situation there. But let's go straight into it to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the sprint race in Japan, and it's an ordinary start for us, just not quite being able to get the power down. And Hubert immediately is past us as we are on the run to the first corner. Hubert is actually quite slow there on the inside line. We try and carry the speed around the outside and almost get around the outside of Luca Giuliano. Not going to hold it there though, and we will maintain the position ahead of Antoine Hubert and hold on to the 5th position where we started. And now, as we make a little bit of a mistake there running wide, but not losing anything there, we need to try and hold this position and try and get into a rhythm as soon as we can in this race. If we want any chance of a decent result, we just need to get into a rhythm. Mistakes will happen, but we need to minimize them as much as we can, as to go for a slide through the end of Dunlop there, and that is a perfect demonstration of the lack of traction that we have in these conditions. That should be a very easy part of the circuit, but even then, yeah, there's no traction on intermediate tyres that are not quite in the window yet. But as we head towards 130R, Matsushita's trying to make the move around the outside, and he's got it done. What a move by Nobuharu Matsushita at his home race in the wet conditions around the outside of very, very sketchy 130R in these conditions. That is an incredible move by him, and he's off and clear, way ahead of us now as we are continuing to struggle and just
Okay, the safety car is out.
and yeah, having some issues, but the safety car is out now, and that is for this incident involving Mick Schumacher, GELAEL, Guanyu ZHOU, Tatiana CALDERON, and potentially some others as well. A massive crash along the front straight. This is looking back from Louis Deletraz's perspective, and you can see in the background there as everyone was squabbling. That was Mick Schumacher losing control. Here's the onboard with Mazepin. He cuts to the inside as everyone just did these small movements along the straight, trying to find a window of opportunity, and that caught out Mick Schumacher back there. Here's the onboard with Sergio SETTE CAMARA. As Mazepin moved to the right, he moved to the left. Schumacher tried to move to the right and then just jerked on the wheel too hard, I suppose, and that lost him the traction that he desired. Here's the onboard with Mick Schumacher just losing control, smashes into the wall, takes out his teammate, and that is a huge hit there. I believe that was with Tatiana CALDERON, and this is the onboard with GELAEL, his Prema teammate, and just whack, nowhere for GELAEL to go there, and that's really unfortunate for him. That was a big crash for GELAEL as well, so that is unbelievable for him, because he is actually still in the race. I believe Mick Schumacher is out, but there's the replay of him. Here's the onboard with Nicholas Latifi. He was so lucky. He was right in the middle of the action, but managed to get through it. This is the onboard with Tatiana CALDERON, the next car in the queue, and you'll see the chaos unfolding up ahead. And again, CALDERON just nowhere to go. The cars were off circuit just about. Schumacher came back onto the circuit just before CALDERON got there, and whack, huge damage for CALDERON, and a good save there to catch that slide, but she is out of the race. And Guanyu ZHOU again, as the Prema is spinning. ZHOU nowhere to go. Here's the onboard with Ralph BOSCHUNG, and he was able to navigate his way through there. The crash had already resolved itself by then, by the time he got there, but yeah, a huge crash along the straight there, and the second safety car of the weekend. But you can see a penalty there for a severe collision with Jordan King. I didn't even notice that happening at the time. I wasn't paying attention. Ralph BOSCHUNG also retires under the safety car with a mechanical failure, and that is the end of the day for him. So yeah, a bit of a weird old time of the race. But what happened there with Jordan King, I ran wide, and as I come back on circuit, he just had the nose in on the inside. It was under safety car conditions, so I didn't really think anything of it, but we must have made some contact and a mistake there for us, and that's allowed the Carlin there of Louis DELETRAZ to get through. So another position lost for us, as we're really struggling in these conditions. But with that penalty now, it's going to be very tough for us to get points. We're already in the lower end of the points as SETTE CAMARA drives around the outside through Dunlop, and it's just embarrassing at this point. We just have nothing to fight with. We just do not have the pace in these conditions, and we're just trying to hold on to everything we can. But yeah, it's really not working out well for us, and yeah, we need something special in this one. We dive up the inside of SETTE CAMARA once again, but he gets a switch back and he'll get back ahead along the run towards Spoon. So there's not really any gain there for us, and yeah, we just don't have anything to fight with. We just can't find the grip in these conditions. But the safety car is out once again as Nikita MAZEPIN retires from the race with a mechanical issue. So this is turning into a very chaotic one here, as another safety car is called out, and we're going to box under safety car, because even though it's safety car conditions, we can still serve that 5-second penalty. I don't know why, but we can, and while that is an option, I will certainly take it. So we're going to clear that 5-second penalty, get a fresh set of the wet compound tyres on, and that should give us a grip advantage, and it will remove that penalty for us. So that is exactly what we are going to do, and hopefully with some fresh tyres versus everyone else on used tyres, or most of the field, other than a couple of people that were caught up in that accident, as Hubert just about gets out ahead of us. We will be in good shape here. So also there's a drive-through penalty for Sergio SETTE CAMARA for falling too far back. I've never seen that before. I've never seen an AI get that penalty, so that's an interesting one for Sergio SETTE CAMARA. But anyway, I'm not sure exactly what caused that. But yeah, under the safety car conditions, he must have driven too slowly, fallen too far behind the preceding car, and that's given him a drive-through penalty. So that's a big one for SETTE CAMARA, and that's going to ruin his race. So we'll get that position later when he makes that drive-through, and that is one position we won't have to fight for. But as we continue on then, trying to push on and catch up to these cars ahead, down the inside of Antoine Hubert into the final chicane, battling away side by side through the Casio triangle, and we will just about get the better traction on the exit and get ahead of Antoine Hubert, and move ourselves up and into 15th position, up into 14th, as Sergio SETTE CAMARA goes in for his drive-through penalty. Here he is into the pit lane, and that's going to drop him to the back of the field. No crew coming up for him. It is a simple run through the lane. But yeah, really unfortunate for him as we go up the inside and make the move on Sean GELAEL. A miracle he's still in the race. He had a huge hit with Mick SCHUMACHER and the wall. So yeah, he is very, very lucky to still be in this one. But as we continue on, he's had another incident there, has Sean GELAEL, and the virtual safety car is out. So what happened here? Sean GELAEL, massive hit into the wall there, and goes for a spin. He continues on, so great work there to get the car going again, but he tried to switch back to the outside as we were defending into 130R, and you could see he just turned hard right and then just clipped the back of our car. He just misjudged that and was closer to us than he thought, and that caused him to spin as Hubert gets caught up in that incident. So unfortunate for the Frenchman, but yeah, he has some front wing damage now. But yeah, that is Sean GELAEL with major issues here. But yeah, another safety car, or virtual safety car, who's called out for that one. But we swiftly get back underway and up the inside, making the move on Guanyu ZHOU, who had to make an extra pit stop to replace his front wing. So so that is why he's dropped so far down the order. Next up is Jordan King. We're chasing him down through 130R, carrying a lot of speed through there actually, and to the outside of the Casio triangle, and this will be a great move if we can get this done. King fights back on the inside, but we'll have the inside for the final left-hander of the track, and we get ahead as we head into the main straight. And as we continue on, we're going to continue fighting for these positions up the inside and making the move on Giuliano ALESI and getting through ahead of the Frenchman in the Tridents, as there looks to be Jordan King trying to take advantage of that as well. But as we continue on, we've only got a couple of cars between us and points, as BOCCOLACCI is putting the pressure on Ragunathan, who is in the points at the moment. So keeping his nose clean so far, Ragunathan, and he may bringing home one singular point, but we'll do our best to spoil that party. We might need that point later on in the championship, so we're not going to be holding back here as we continue on in this one. But a mistake there through a spoon, losing control and trying to catch it, catching a bit of the grass on the inside there, but that's going to give us a terrible exit onto the back straight, and that's allowed Jordan King straight past us. We're going to sit in the slipstream of the MP Motorsports car as we head towards 130. We're going to follow as closely as we dare through here, almost pushing him through, and then we're going to try and make the move as we head to the inside of the Casio triangle, and we will skate our way through on the inside line there, backing it into the corner, but making the move nonetheless on Jordan King, and finding our way out back into 10th position.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
King back down the inside as we head back towards the first corner, once again trying to hold the position around the outside, giving as much space as possible, once again running a little bit wide there, but we do maintain the position on Jordan King, and that should be that battle done and dusted now, and we can focus on trying to close that gap to Dorian, BOCCOLACCI and Mahavir Ragunathan. Ragunathan still doing a good job to hold off BOCCOLACCI, but we're going to go down the inside of Dorian into the Casio triangle, and that is that position made for us now. One car between us and the points paying positions, so let's see what we can do on this final lap of the race now. BOCCOLACCI though putting the pressure on as we've actually dropped back from Ragunathan. BOCCOLACCI down the inside into the first corner again. We run wide, actually catch a bit of the gravel there, but we just about keep things under control and maintain that position, just about catching a bit of grass on the left hand side there as well. But we'll have the inside for this next corner, and we're really struggling at this point to keep the tyres in check. They're just not gripping as well as they were, but for now we actually do seem to have some pace as we head through the Gyokuben curve there. You can see how much we were gaining on Ragunathan, so through this section of the track we do have the pace advantage over the driver ahead, so we need to focus on him, not worry about BOCCOLACCI too much, and we seem to be getting our composure back once more. Are we going to be able to make a move into the hairpin? A bit of a swapper on the exit there of the second Degner, and that's not allowed us to get close enough to Ragunathan, so we're going to have one opportunity, and that's going to be into the Casio triangle. We're very close here, but we're not going to be able to make an overtake into Spoon. That's just not really feasible, and even through this right-hander it's just way too hard to get the power down there. The car just wants to spin. So as we head through 130R for the final time, a decent run here on Ragunathan, and we're going to go for the move up the inside as he tries to defend, but we will just about get ahead of Ragunathan at the final opportunity, and we take the position and move ourselves up into 8th as we head towards the finish line. Kalamilot has won here in Japan, and we will cross the line for 8th position. Whew. 1 point. That was a chaotic race, and a lot of fun to relive that one. That crash with Schumacher, GELAEL, ZHOU, and Calderon, that was huge. That was probably one of the biggest crashes I've ever seen on the Formula 1 game. There was a big one in my career mode in Italy in the Formula 2 cars, but that was big too.
So another fantastic victory for ZHOU today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Their biggest advantage was how well they seemed to manage their timetable. There wasn't a lot of grip out there anyway, but it was even worse for the drivers if they couldn't keep the tires in the proper operating window. Keeping the tires warm was what gave them the advantage today, and ultimately was a big factor in their win.
Looks like they're on their way out onto the podium now, and what a result this is. And a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Charouse team on top here today.
So it is Callum Ilott who takes the race victory today. Nick de Vries finishes in second position, and it will be Jack Aitken in third.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Challenge. The lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
My driver of the day was Dorian BOCCOLACCI. He did a cracking job of moving through the field. Just a very good race.
On to the teams then. Charouse moved further clear at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the Virtuosi team today as they make their way up the standings. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
So there we have it. The end of the round here in Japan, and what an interesting one that was. But at the end of the day, our championship lead shrinks again to just 10 points now ahead of Matsushita. A great round for him at his home circuit here at Suzuka. So he'll be decently happy, I think. Unfortunately not able to win any of the races, but a podium, and certainly closing into the championship lead throughout this one. But yeah, for us in this race, just a few mistakes, and it cost us in the end. We just had no pace, just too many mistakes, and just really difficult to drive in these conditions. A lot tougher than driving the F1 cars in the wet conditions. The Formula 2 cars, running without traction control in these cars is fine in the dry, but when the rain starts falling, they become very, very lively. There's the crash with GELAEL, and how he managed to survive the first one, let alone that one, is something of a miracle for GELAEL to. I'm pretty sure he finished the race. He definitely kept driving after that, so yeah, crazy stuff for him. But yeah, in terms of the Teams Championship, we do extend that margin with Callum Ilott winning the race, getting a whole bunch of points, and of course we did score 1 for our title hopes as well. So yeah, not a total disaster, but yeah, we just had no pace, but I think we did the best we could with what we had after that penalty for that little bit of a bump with Jordan King under safety car. Again, I'm not sure exactly how that happened. I must have just bumped him as we rejoined the circuit after running off. So yeah, that was obviously my bad, but yeah, frustrating, but I can only blame myself for that. But anyway, other than that, I'll say thank you so much for watching to the end. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.